What a difference coal dust can make. In 1812, near a plantation in Richmond, Virginia, Robert Gordon was born. His life was surrounded by coal because the gentleman who owned Robert Gordon was into the coal business. Therefore, Robert's education and foundation was based upon coal. As a young man, he watched everything. He watched how coal was weighed, how coal was packaged, how coal was delivered. As he grew older, he became so skillful that when the business owner would leave, Robert was there to manage all the business transactions. One day, Robert noticed coal dust on the ground, or called slack. So, what Robert decided to do, he decided to place the coal dust in bags. He began to sell the coal dust to his friends and neighbors. They would use it to warm up their homes and as fuel. Robert made enough money to purchase his freedom. He then moved to Cincinnati, Ohio. And in Cincinnati, Robert again opened his own business. He became one of the wealthiest men in the area of Cincinnati. He became so wealthy that he would place advertisements in the local newspaper. As you can see, 1859, 1860, 1861. Imagine that. Advertisements in the newspaper. He also became affiliated with the Iron Chest Company, a company of local businessmen who would use their money to invest. But Robert decided after 1865 to choose another endeavor to help the city of Cincinnati. Let's see what Robert decided to do as you step outside and step inside my windowless classroom.
In 1812, I, Robert Gordon, was born into bondage near Richmond, Virginia, at a time when freedom was only a word whispered in hopes and prayers. I belonged to a coal merchant, and from a young age, my life was shaped not by books or schoolrooms, but by the steady rhythm of labor. I watched wagons roll in and out, listened as coal was weighed and sold, and learned the language of business long before I understood the meaning of liberty, while others saw only dirt and residue scattered across the ground. I saw something different after the wagons pulled away. Each day I bent down and gathered the coal dust left behind. They called it slack. To most, it was worthless waste. To me, it was possibility. I packed the powder carefully and sold it to neighbors who needed fuel to cook their meals and warm their homes. Penny by penny, sack by sack, I saved what I earned. Knowing every coin carried me closer to a dream, I refused to let die through patience, discipline, and faith. I did what many believed impossible. I purchased my freedom with liberty. Finally, within my grasp, I left Virginia behind and journeyed north to Cincinnati, Ohio. The city was alive with movement and promise, and for the first time, I felt my future belonged to me. I opened my own coal distribution business using the very skills I had learned in bondage to build a life of independence. My store stood as proof that a black man could claim dignity through determination. In a nation still wrestling with its conscience, but my vision stretched far beyond my storefront. I was proud to be associated with the Iron Chest Company, a group of black businessmen who believed in pooling resources and investing wisely. Together, we saw property not just as land, but as protection, stability, and legacy. After the Civil War, in 1865, as the country struggled to rebuild itself, I began purchasing properties throughout Cincinnati. Each investment was a brick laid in a foundation meant to uplift more than just myself. Yet I knew true freedom could not be measured only in deeds or dollars. Education, I believed, was the real key to liberation. Knowledge was the one thing no one could take away. I became a strong advocate for learning, understanding that educated minds would carry our people further than any business ever could. When I invested in education, I was investing in generations yet to come. Children who would inherit not chains, but choices. My life's journey carried me from coal dust to community leadership, from enslavement to empowerment. I learned that freedom is not simply given or claimed. It is built slowly, deliberately, and boldly through vision, resilience, and an unshakable belief in what tomorrow can become.
So the next time you're in Ohio, stop in Cincinnati and learn more about Robert Gordon and his contributions to real estate and education in Cincinnati. Robert Gordon was a man who once lived on America's timeline. I'm Kimberly Jones, and I'll see you in the next chapter.